Veto overrides at the State House. Thank you for joining us. I'm Darren Perrin.
And I'm Kat Villianzoni. Vermont's legislature returns for a brief summer session to erase Governor Phil Scott's red pen on several key issues.
Channel 3 political reporter Calvin Cutler is still live at the State House for us tonight. Calvin, it's a lot of vetoes to get through. Give us an update.
Right. Good evening, Darren and Kat. The Democratic supermajority within the House of Representatives has overridden 5 vetoes out of 8 issued by Governor Scott this legislative session. Now, earlier today, lawmakers reversed the veto on the $8.5 billion state budget, the veto on a $120 million child care bill, and another bill adjusting fees at the Office of Professional Regulation, and a pair of charter changes, one allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote in Brattleboro, and another allowing non-citizens to vote in Burlington. Now, lawmakers also gave the green light to an expansion of the bottle bill, unfinished business from the session in May. Now, that bill now heads to Governor Phil Scott.
And so, Calvin, you've reported, though, about a group of key Democrats and progressives that was holding out support for the budget. So what won them over?
Well, Darren, the governor, leaders in the House and the Senate brokered a deal this week which would extend hotel housing for some. It's almost summertime at the State House, and lawmakers are back to reverse a flurry of vetoes from Governor Phil Scott, including on the $8.5 billion state budget and a sweeping $100 million child care plan.
We, as a body, recognized the need to do something significant.
Meanwhile, Republicans stress Vermont can't afford the spending.
Every dollar you take out of Vermonters' pocket is a dollar that they don't have for something that they might want to do. 17
lawmakers threatened to sustain the veto override over concerns that thousands were evicted from hotels as federal funding has run dry.
It fails to support a just transition from emergency assistance to housing for all.
House and Senate leaders and the governor brokered a deal this week to keep some in hotel rooms while they're paired with more permanent housing solutions. But not everyone was on board.
2,000 Vermonters sheltered.
You know, it's a horrendous answer to a chronic and systemic societal issue.
Protesters with Cooperation Vermont say the plan does not go far enough and does nothing for hundreds already evicted from hotel rooms.
Will the guests please be silent so we can start our work?
How constructive do you think this was today? I mean, do you think this changed any minds on the House floor?
I don't know that it changed any minds, but I think the message needs to be said. I don't think that they should, get to believe that folks don't care.
The bill will use leftover funds from the Human Services Agency and refocus $21 million for housing the homeless in projects like restoring mobile homes. Recipients will also have to pay for the hotel room, look for housing, and be paired with services.
It provides an extended off-ramp transition process for the people currently in the motel program.
However, some question the state's capacity to find permanent shelter for up to 1,200 households and whether that capacity exists in communities.
It's going to come from a lot of different corners. There will be some big projects, there will be some small projects.
Now, lawmakers here at the State House wrapped up their work about 45 minutes ago, and they're done wrapping up their entire veto session for the House of Representatives in one day. The Senate will resume work tomorrow.
So, Calvin, any bills that did not make it?
Well, Darren, a proposal which would prevent deceptive tactics for police interviewing juveniles did not make it across the finish line and was not overridden in the Senate because they did not have the necessary votes. Now, the Senate was also expected to take up an elections reform bill, but that has been put on the back burner until next session. And they did not take up the governor's veto on a bill which would double lawmaker pay over the next few years. That is heading back to committee, meaning that it will not be taken up this veto session and is essentially dead for this legislative session. Darren?
Calvin Cutler, live at the State House. Thank you very much.